These programs create jobs. The National Endowment of Humanities is a reason we have in Northern Nevada every January the Cowboy Poetry Festival. Had that program not been around, the tens of thousands of people who come there every year would not exist.
Well, that's his argument. That was Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid calling Republicans' plans to cut government spending, quote, mean-spirited, citing a federally funded festival of cowboy poetry that he says brings in a lot of jobs and a lot of people to the state. He says the GOP's plan to slash $61 billion is, quote, reckless and irresponsible. So let's get some reaction on all of that from Indiana Republican Congressman Mike Pence, who joins me now. Congressman, good morning to you.
Good morning, Martha.
I mean, you can sort of get a chuckle out of it on the surface, and he may have walked right into it when it comes with an easy soundbite to, sort of make fun of. But he's saying government programs do help to bring in jobs and commerce to his area.
Well, I think Senator Harry Reid's comments show just how out of touch Senate Democrats are with the priorities of the American people. The American people know the federal government's going broke. And for Harry Reid to not only defend the Cowboy Poetry Festival, but to say that finding $61 billion in savings in this fiscal year is somehow reckless and irresponsible, it shows the liberals here in Washington have a fundamental disconnect with what the overwhelming majority of the people of this country know, and that is we've got to start making the hard choices right now to put our fiscal house in order, and House Republicans are ready to make that fight.
A lot of people think that the House Republicans haven't gone far enough. In fact, I came across some pretty striking numbers because the $61 billion number represents 1/70th of our total expenditures. And you'd have to repeat it 249 times, that $61 billion cut, just to eliminate the $14.2 trillion deficit in this country. So, are we getting anywhere here? Because this is going to get shot down in the Senate. Where are we going?
Well, you know what, I think whether or not we're getting, and let me stipulate, Martha, the $61 billion, which gets us to a number $100 billion off the president's budget from the last go-around, that's really just a down payment. Republicans are just keeping our word that we'd find those savings in this fiscal year. We also kept our word to defund Obamacare. We also saw a bipartisan majority vote to defund Planned Parenthood. What I just told my colleagues at a House Republican conference is it's time to pick a fight. I think the American people know this is just a down payment. This is just a start. We have to win in this small battle if we're going to win the big battles that lie ahead on debt ceiling and on budget and on fundamental government reform.
One of the things that is in that bill is to defund NPR as well, public broadcasting. We've got some pretty big news on that front this morning, and that is that the CEO, Vivian Schiller, was asked to resign in the wake of this scandal surrounding a videotape that surfaced where her main fundraiser was calling conservatives a lot of nasty names. What do you make of that situation and that resignation?
Well, I just think it's appalling, and my hat's off to the journalists that were able to collect that information. The very idea that you have someone with NPR's foundation sitting down with people that say that they are associated with the Muslim Brotherhood, and then saying all kinds of spurious things against Americans, conservative Americans, even Jewish Americans, I think is deeply offensive. I think it's right that the CEO step down. It would be more right, though, if we seize this time of a fiscal crisis to say it's time to end public funding for NPR. It's time to end public funding for Planned Parenthood of America. These organizations that have a particular viewpoint, that advance a particular liberal viewpoint, ought to do what every other policy organization in this town does, and that is raise their own resources to advance their own agenda.
And in fact, it's interesting because that's exactly what he said on that tape. I was speaking about this with Brett Baer moments ago. The fundraiser was saying to these people that he thought were part of a Muslim organization, we may not need federal funding. We may need to be able to do this on our own. I guess you would probably say, well, go ahead and do it, right?
Yeah, well, look, the Corporation for Public Broadcasting gets a reasonably small percentage of its revenue from taxpayers. They get an awful lot in the form of corporate grants. This is not about getting rid of the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. It's saying in a time where we have a $14 trillion national debt and we're running a $1.65 trillion deficit, now's the time for us to ask these organizations, like Planned Parenthood, like the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, come on, you got to stand on your own, particularly when your biases are this clear and in the open.
All right, Mike Pence, Congressman from Indiana, thank you so much, sir. Good to talk to you. Good luck to all of you up there on Capitol Hill working this out. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. It's going to be an epic battle.